What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Field Series Review. Today, we're going to look at 4 areas of your Sitka system that you need to fix before hunting season. All right, everybody. So today we are going to look at 4 areas of your Sitka system that you probably need to address before this hunting season. You may not need to address all 4 areas, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Sitka. This can be addressed in any system of camouflage, no matter if you're wearing Sitka, First Light, QU, Mossy Oak, Drake. It really doesn't matter. This is just 4 areas of your layering that you probably need to address before this hunting season. So before we jump into the video, make sure you drop down below, like this video, subscribe to our channel, head over to Instagram, head over to TikTok, check us out over there, give us a follow. Make sure you check out the sponsor of today's video, and that is going to be Sitka Gear over at kiwanu.com. You use my promo code FSReview. That's going to get you $5 off any order that's over $20. Make sure you check out their double duty gun sling. It's a really awesome minimalist gun sling with a built-in loop for you to hang your gun. I think you guys will really like it. So make sure you go over to kiwanu.com and check them out. So let's jump into the 4 areas that you need to address of your Sitka system before hunting season of this year. All right, everybody. So our first stop along the way is going to be your base layers. So we're building from basically the inside out. Your base layer is really going to come in 2 forms. You're going to have your next to skin piece and then your actual base layer. So the next to skin piece is going to be a very light piece. It's going to go directly next to your skin, designed to wick away the moisture so that the sweat doesn't get into your base layer, into your mid layer, and cause problems, keep you cold. Next, you're going to have your actual base layer, which is going to be something a little bit thicker, something that's going to actually start generating warmth. For example, I like to run the Core Lightweight Crew, which is very thin, very light. I put that on first, and then I put something heavier on top of it, whether it be, this is the Fanatic hoodie. This is out of the Whitetail line. This is basically a Core heavyweight hoodie with a couple of bells and whistles for whitetail hunters. But the Core Lightweight Crew or hoodie, whichever one you choose, is going to wick away the moisture to let your thicker materials like the Fanatic hoodie or Core heavyweight or Core midweight start to kind of generate warmth. All right, so your base layer is really, you need 2 pieces. You need a next to skin piece, which is much lighter, and then you need an actual warmth piece, which is a little thicker that goes over top. Now, when you're looking at your base layers from Sitka Gear, you have 2 options. You have a synthetic route or you have a more natural route with wool. I know a lot of guys will go wool, guys that get warmer faster, that feel like they sweat a lot, they'll go with the wool. The wool is a little cooler, it's a little more natural feel. It loses a bit of its shape, in my opinion. It's not quite as like athletically fit. I go with a synthetic just because I've always used a synthetic. I do have some of the wool. I like it just fine, but you can either go wool or synthetic. And if you go wool, it's the same thing, right? You buy the, I think it's the 120 or the 130, very lightweight, next to skin to wick away moisture, and then you go with something a little thicker like the 330 in the wool to start to generate warmth. So you need 2 pieces for your base layer, and this is whether it's Sitka or something else. You need a very light piece to wick away moisture. You need a thicker piece to start generating warmth. You make your decision if you want to go synthetic or go wool or combine them. Maybe you want to go a wool next to skin because it's more breathable, and then synthetic on top of it because it keeps its shape a little bit better. But nevertheless, for you to be successful, you really need to start from the ground up. And the base layer is super important because if you don't do your base layering right and you sweat into your mid layer, into your shell, you're just going to be cold. You're not going to be out in the field very long, and your chances of getting a limit of birds, shooting that big buck, chasing that elk, getting that turkey is all going to start to diminish because you're in the field longer because you're coming back because you're cold or uncomfortable. All right, guys, stop number 2 is going to be mid layers. Now, this is going to be tops and bottoms. Now, for our mid layers, you're looking to build warmth. The way you can know if something is a mid layer and a good mid layer is it Berger fleece or is it Primaloft? Okay. If it's windproof, it is not a mid layer. Mid layer is going to be strictly for warmth. Primaloft insulation, Berber fleece, tops and bottoms is what you really want. So what you want is this is that mid layer between your base layer and your shell. A couple of great options, and one of my favorite options for the tops for mid layer is going to be anything from the Ambient series. Now this is the original Ambient jacket. This thing, lots of mobility, lots of warmth, very, very lightweight. It is not the best outer layer. It's not windproof, and it does kind of get caught in some stickers. But for a mid layer, it lets you move very well, keeps you warm, Primaloft insulation. Another very popular jacket for mid layers is going to be the Traverse jacket. It's a Berber fleece jacket. Mobility is not quite as good, but it's pretty warm, and it's a nice jacket to wear underneath a shell. Start talking about the lower half of your body. You definitely want to look at something like Celsius midi pants, gradient pants. You can even throw the Dakota pants in there. They're a fleece lined. Traverse bibs. Anything that's that Berber fleece. It's not windproof, but it's warm. You want that over your base layer on your legs to be able to kind of build heat and lock heat in. So your tips for any mid layer is you want some type of insulation, whether it's a thick fleece or whether it's Primaloft insulation or down or synthetic down, something that's going to generate that warmth but not be a windproof shell. So for Sitka, the Ambient series is great. For the pants, something like Celsius midi pants, gradient pants, those are very, very popular. All right, everybody. So the third area we need to address is going to be our outer shell. And this is the shell that meets our outside environment. This is the shell that's got to take the brunt of the wind, the rain, the water, the mud. This is where you're going to spend most of your money. This is our initial layer to protect us from the elements. You got to do top and bottom. So the two things you're really looking for here is going to be Windstopper or Gore-Tex, right? Whitetail, you're primarily looking at Windstopper. Big game, you're looking primarily at Windstopper. You want to be able to keep the wind out so that your mid layer and your base layer can do their job. You can get Windstopper with Gore-Tex, especially for waterfowlers, but you're really looking for Windstopper or Gore-Tex to be 100% waterproof. These are the things that's going to keep the elements out. I have on here the Jetstream, and this is out of the big game line, but they now offer it Marsh, Timber, EV2. This is a fantastic Windstopper, very, very mobile jacket. It's from the big game line, but it's an awesome jacket. But it's 100% windproof. It's very light and mobile. It's expensive, but what it's going to do is going to keep all the wind out. It's going to lock in my base layer and let warmth kind of build. Some other examples from the Whitetail line, you're going to see the Stratus jacket, and for your lower extremities, the Stratus bibs or Stratus pants. Once again, 100% windproof, designed to let your insulation, your mid layer and base layer kind of build warmth, keep the elements out. Waterfowlers, the most pure form of a shell is going to be the Delta jacket and the Delta waders. These are only shells, right? There's no insulation in either one of those. It is to keep the water out, the wind out, the mud out, and let your base layers and your mid layers do their job. Big game line, once again, you have the Jetstream, maybe the Timberline pants. But if it's Gore Windstopper or Gore-Tex, that is your shell. You're going to pay a pretty penny for them. Now, there are some shells that do have insulation built into them, right? If you're going to have things like the Hudson jacket, it's 100% windproof, 100% waterproof. It has Primaloft insulation built into it. The Fanatic series on the Whitetail line, 100% windproof, also has the insulation. Okay, and there's some options over on the big game line as well. But your primary thing for a shell is you want to be windproof or waterproof to keep the elements out. All right, guys, coming in at number 4 on the list is going to be the category of accessories. Now, accessories, primarily, we're speaking about hands and head, right? The little bitty kind of side things that you would buy for your hands and for your head. And the three main ones that I like are gloves or muffs for your hands, right? I when it gets colder, I like to run a little bit thinner glove and have my hand muff right here. I can store my phone, wallet, keys, and stuff in the hand muff. And keep my hands in here, keeps them nice and warm. I don't like big bulky gloves. Even when I'm gun hunting, I like to have thinner gloves. So I'll go with something like a Fanatic glove that's a little warm, but it's a little thinner. But I'll mix that with a hand muff and keep my hands warm. Nothing worse than having a nice big bulky system or a system that's keeping your whole body warm and then your fingers get cold. You can be miserable. When it comes to the head, obviously beanies, you can go with a lot of different beanies from Sitka Gear. You can go from beanies outside of Sitka Gear. But as long as you're keeping your head and your ears warm, that is going to keep the head warm, the brain warm. It's going to let you stay out a little bit longer. And one more that no matter which brand you get, but I think is super important is a neck gaiter. Neck gaiter is great because not only does it give you a little bit of concealment over your nose, keeps your nose, keeps the bottom of your ears warm, your mouth warm, but the neck. When you start letting drafts of wind go down the back of your jacket, your hoodie, or whatnot, and gets down to your core, it can negate all the good stuff that you've done by layering properly, a proper shell, and all that. But if wind starts drafting down from your neck down into your clothing, it literally can let a lot of that heat out. So, neck gaiter for the neck is super important. Whether it's Sitka or something else, neck gaiter will go a long way. A good beanie will go a long way. Gloves or a muff will go a long way. So make sure you're going to spend the money and the time looking at your full system. Please don't neglect the accessories, hands, and head. It will literally make your system feel that much warmer for just a little bit extra money. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's been a little bit educational for you. I hope it's helped you look at some areas of your system. Like I said, whether it's Sitka, First Light, QU, Drake, Mossy Oak, whatever it may be, that you can address before it gets too cold and too deep in the hunting season. It's going to help you stay in the field longer and be more successful. So once again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video, and we'll see you guys next time.